In my 3 years here, we've lost 4 or 5 students, some to violence in the neighborhood. Unfortunately, this past May, a student took her own life. But I remember there was an assessment coming up. And I remember I reached out to the district and I was like, listen, I don't think we're gonna be able to do it. And they're like, no, like we need to do it. And I was just like, no, we're not. And we didn't. It wouldn't have been fair to my teachers. It wouldn't have been fair to my students. The first time we had a student loss, we didn't pause. Because we were told we shouldn't pause. And we were just like, all right, let's keep going. But what we've learned is like, no, like we're gonna pause everything. We're obviously here. If you're ready to come in, you're ready to come in. If you need time, you need time, right? We're gonna suspend curriculum if we have to. If you're ready to move forward, you're ready to move forward. And so really this idea of like personalized approaches, like the same thing we do with personalized learning, a lot of it is doing that pre-work and not waiting until something happens and then trying to figure it out. Like at that point, you're too late. So this is Michelle Clark. It is the gem of the West Side. We provide for the students of Austin. So Austin of Chicago used to be the largest neighborhood in Chicago. And over time, that population dropped. And a lot of times what happens is that students, they leave this neighborhood pursuing an education as a means of, how do I better my life? Well, for most of the students, that means leaving Austin. But unfortunately, they don't come back then, right? Then they're gone. They go off to college. So we've been dedicated to doing that here. You don't need to leave Austin to get those things. And so we've been very, very dedicated to building programs. We will have our first group of students this year graduating with a high school diploma and an associate's degree.
You will, well, thank you, sir.
I remember February of my senior year. I had just gotten back from Ball State. Everything was offered to me, computer package, honors package, the whole 9 yards. And I remember coming back and having a conversation with my girlfriend and letting her know like, hey, this thing is set, like I'm ready to go. And she was like, that's great. I'm pregnant. And it was like, record scratch, right? My plan was to do a semester and then take my family with me. 1 semester turned into 2 turned into 4 years. So I graduated from Purdue instead. So by the time I graduated, I had 2 daughters. I had married their mother and then also was divorced. And lived an entire life. So I'm graduating now from college as a single dad of 2 girls. I took the job at my school district, and that changed everything because I had a second major in English. They said, hey, can you teach a class or 2 in English? I said, sure. And absolutely fell in love with it. I ended up going back to school, did the transition to teaching, stuck with it, got a master's in teaching. And I just remember my grandmother was like, told you. Like, I knew this was going to happen. And so like everything else, I always want to be the best that I can possibly be. Our STEM program is wild. So in addition to, for example, some of our students getting their associate's degree, students are getting certificates that you could utilize to gain IT jobs, cybersecurity jobs. We have 2 maker spaces. There's a pit in there. It almost looks like those robot battle spaces, cricket machines, sewing machines, 3D printers. And the beautiful thing is I said we have 2 because it's not 2 for the students. We have 1 for our parents in the community. And so we want our parents and community members to understand the same exact technology. And we have this phrase that we have babies raising babies. We have very young parents who oftentimes those skills have been lost along the way. So I love going down there and you see some of our elders teaching parents how to use a sewing machine, right? These crafts and these skills. And so now we're building up that family unit again, right? From our elders to our parents to our students. I've had students who are like, AP, my pants are ripped. Well, luckily for you, we got people who can help you out. Every single day I feel that like I've done something productive. I've made some meaningful contribution to this world. And so here I am, now I get to have this conversation with you all. And it's been a wild ride. It was just that mindset, the skills of saying, like, life is hard, it's going to be tough, but if you continue and you're committed to that passion and that why, like, you're going to end up where you're supposed to be. It may be a weird path. It may not be the path that everybody kind of imagines, but you will end up where you're intended to be. And again, we can complain about the resets, about all the things that are happening out there that are outside of our control. Or maybe we could try our very best to influence the things that are happening out there. So that way, when our students do leave, there's a continuation of the work that we're doing. It's been fantastic just to be able to continue expanding that influence and making the biggest possible impact that I can.